what Tom Cruise is allegedly saying to his friends about Nicole Kidman's divorce, and why Keith Urban seemingly kicked Maggie off his tour? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. We do have some interesting updates. I think things are wrapping up on this, but I wanted to give you some final updates as Nicole has so much resentment towards Keith Urban despite putting on a brave face in public. This came out yesterday. She may look like she's pressing on amidst her divorce, but a source tells Star behind the smiles, she is struggling. The source says she feels loss and grief she's carrying is far more intense than she lets on. In so many respects, Nicole is doing brilliantly. She's been a total pro throughout this, and her number one goal is to stay strong and not crumble for the sake of her daughters as well as herself. However, the source explains that it's easier said than done. Keith was the love of her life, and it's not that simple to just turn those feelings off like a tap. She's been on autopilot, cramming her schedule like crazy and sticking tight to friends who are longing to set her up for some fun once she gives the word. While Kidman might seem like she's holding it all together, the source says there's a feeling like the dam has to burst at some point too soon. She has so much resentment and heartache that inevitably is going to come to surface. And when that happens, it's not going to be pretty. So that's what's coming in. Maybe she'll unleash it during a movie. But yeah, she's not feeling this well. She's not happy. Meanwhile, before we get to what Tom Cruise thinks, we'll get there in a second, Keith Urban is kicking Maggie Bowe off the tour. Now, here's what they're saying. This is what the press is saying, what TMZ is saying, that this was all on, not intentional. Keith Urban fans and sleuths won't be getting another look at Maggie on stage with the country singer anytime soon because there are no plans for the rumored romantic interest to sit in for another High and Alive tour stop. A source with knowledge tells TMZ the decision not to bring Maggie back into the fold in the foreseeable future has nothing to do with the rumors and headlines. It's simply logistics. As we previously reported, Maggie is not a member of the tour band. We did report on that as well. Despite confusion, Maggie was merely asked to appear when Natalie Stovall was unable to perform in Chicago, and Maggie also played a private Vegas show with Keith. 2 shows she magically played in, both times Keith's flirting with her. Okay. That almost makes the story weirder to me. As for Maggie filling in again anytime soon, don't count on it. We're told Natalie is Keith's primary utility player, and he has others he calls upon from time to time if needed, because Natalie has another band, Runaway June. Maggie has occasionally played with Keith prior to this tour, though. Since TMZ broke the story, KU's Maggie was radio silent. She's seemingly leaned into it, though, to build anticipation for a new album, which we also showed you as well. Apparently Keith had nothing to do with that album as well. But yeah, no other comments from Keith or her about this, but are you buying this? Chat, are you buying this? We have no need for her anymore. Like, is that because they're dating and it's gotten too hot? Is that because he's embarrassed and now he's kicked her to the curb? Is that because or do you think that story is true? There really was nothing between them and this was all a misunderstanding. It's so weird he took those. People have told me Keith has changed the lyrics before. Okay. It was a bad look. It was a bad look, whether he meant it or not. He has some explaining to do in my eyes. Now, what I teased earlier, what Tom Cruise is saying to friends about Nicole Kidman's divorce. This one's interesting because look, as I recall, and I tried to get more into this, and we can go deeper if you want me to, tell me in the comments down below. As I recall, Tom Cruise filed for divorce from Nicole Kidman. It was Tom Cruise who left Nicole Kidman, if I remember correctly. I mean, that's what the stories were that were coming in. And it was also the whole Scientology of it all. Like, she wasn't a fan. It was clear that, he was and wanted the kids to be. The kids remained to be there along with him. And they don't seem to have much relationship with Nicole. Just like now, Tom doesn't have much relationship with Suri, who is not in Scientology as well. It's the religion, as I've learned and talked to people there, as you may know, watching this channel or others, like, you have to turn against your family if they don't follow you into the whole thing, and that's just weird. Many have come forward and admitted how they have to turn on loved ones just because they are leaving Scientology. And that to me is a huge red flag, huge red flag. But Tom Cruise embraces them. Anyway, with that in mind, I don't know how much I believe this, but here's what Heat World is coming in saying. Insiders are revealing exactly why Tom Cruise feels like karma has been served. I got thoughts on it. Let's see what's said. So with their loved up social media posts, red carpet PDAs, and some seriously intimate song lyrics after their white hot life, News that Nicole filed for Keith came as a huge bombshell. Agreed. They share daughters, yada, yada. Last week's speculation was mounting over Keith's friendship with Maggie, as we just talked about, leaving her hurt and betrayed. It's devastating to Nicole. It had been emerged that Keith had been quietly setting up his own place outside the home. Amidst the storm of the current marriage, Nicole's 2001 divorce from her first husband, Tom Cruise, has also been hitting headlines once again, as experts suggest that the baby girl actress is likely reliving the very public split. It's believed that the pair, who share Bella and Connor, haven't spoken over 2 decades. But now a source tells us that after being publicly demonized following their split after 11 years of marriage, Tom now feels like karma has finally caught up with Nicole. Insider says Tom took so much grief from Nicole and her Hollywood cronies when they first divorced, he'll never forget or forgive how villainized he was, and in some ways, that far-reaching perception haunts him to this day. He's following the divorce news closely, and part of him feels badly for her since he knows how much she's hurting, but at the same time, he's also allowing himself a little pat on the back, telling people close to him that this is karma doing its thing to a large degree. The reason behind Tom and Nicole's split had never been made clear, with one former Scientologist alleging it was the controversial church in which Tom, as a devout follower, had been pushing for the couple to split after Nicole refused to become a member. However, what quickly became apparent is that for Tom, silence is golden. While Nicole was happy to share her heartbreak with the world, she was cagey. She did not give us as much as we wanted. Let's be honest. She quipped to a USA chat host Letterman that she could now wear heels following her split from Nicole. I mean, that's funny. That was a funny line. It was. Nicole did later open up about the devastation over a breakup 6 years into her marriage to Keith. This line is especially funny if Tom left her. Can wear heels now because Nicole's very tall and Tom Cruise is not as tall as he seems in the movies. I thought our life together was perfect, Nicole said at the time. It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system. We became very dependent on one another. I was reeling with Tom. I would have gone to the ends of the earth for him. I was totally smitten. I fell madly, passionately in love. So that was what Nicole had said about Tom. It's very similar, it sounds like, to what happened with Keith. So unless there's something else more nefarious that Nicole's done in both instances, which the men are just not revealing, how is this karma? That's kind of mean. You left her and now you're happy someone else left her? If that's true, Tom, man, that's lame. That just, I don't know how much I buy this. When Nicole met Keith at an event in 2005, while he'd struggled with addiction and was in a rehab, she later praised him as a wonderful father and wonderful husband, describing herself as very fortunate. And now the source says that while Tom kept his distance, even missing the Oscars to avoid a run-in with her, the Mission Impossible actors always had a bee in his bonnet over how Keith was portrayed publicly. The insider says Tom didn't have a high opinion about Keith, so it annoyed him when this guy was painted as this saintly figure who'd swooped in on a white horse, so to speak, and rescued Nicole from the hellish memory of their marriage. Tom was careful never to disparage her publicly or kiss and tell in any way, yet as soon as she got her chance to use their breakup for attention, she went on TV and mocked his height. Oh, come on, get over it. Which is, she knows very well, is a sore point for him. To make matters more humiliating for Tom, Nicole also described their marriage as mundane, while she praised her romance with Keith as incredibly raw, incredibly dangerous. Now the source says Tom feels vindicated, that Nicole's words are coming back to haunt her. That's spiteful, dude. I hope this isn't true. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like Tom because of Scientology, but I like Tom in his movies. I do. As a person, I don't know the man. As a movie star, he does deliver. He's got some fantastic films. If this is true, this would really make me look at him differently. It's only natural Tom would feel a sense of vindication now that she's having to eat her words. The whole world is finally seeing what Tom says he's known all along, that the perfect marriage narrative Nicole was always pushing was more of a dream than reality. Tom says he has always believed Keith was a rebound who fit the image Nicole wanted to project. And now that Nicole and Keith are divorcing and all the messy details are getting out, it's pretty clear Tom was right. Yikes. He knows how tough the humiliation must be for her. No one would blame him for gloating, but he's actually being very monogamous about this. And he's even reached out to her to offer support. Which is it? Now, are the friends, that's a lot the friends told. That's a lot that the friends told. I could see believing some of the things alleged here that would have perturbed him. There's always two sides to a story. It would be very sad if it's true, though, and very petty and bitter all these years later to care that much. And if not, feel sorry and want, have empathy for her, especially if you left her. If Tom left her and now is like taking pride in, I told you she wasn't easy to deal with. That's why I left her. Now you all see, like, dude, that's shady as hell. What do you think? Do you buy this? Are you believing this? And do you think Keith really kicked her off the tour because, not coincidentally? I want to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell for all alerts. Smash the thumbs up and let me know your thoughts on this. What do you think of Tom Cruise? Movie star, yes. Person, no. Or do you like both? I want to hear your thoughts. Leave them down below. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet.